This week, we got a leak from Sony's Project Q, a new old game coming to Xbox, and more, so let's just go ahead, together, as a people, and check it out! And welcome to another sensational Sunday. I'm Mike, and I'm back to talk about the gaming news. And you know what games typically stay popular for a long time if they get popular? Well, that's MMOs. I mean, you've had Final Fantasy 14 that's basically been out since 2010, but a lot of people are still playing it. Well, except for people on Xbox, they've kind of been left out. But it's looking like that's finally going to change next year because Microsoft's Phil Spencer appeared on this year's Final Fantasy Fan Fest, which I did not know was a thing, to announce that Final Fantasy 14 will be coming to Xbox Series X and S in summer of 2024. The game will run at 4K on the Series X and is supposed to get improved load times. Now, for PlayStation fans, this game has been on the PS3, 4, and 5, so they're no stranger to the series, but this is the first time it's making an appearance on a Microsoft platform. The game also supports crossplay, so you can play with people on PlayStation or PC, so it looks like Xbox players are no longer getting left out of the fold, at least when it comes to Final Fantasy 14. Of course, I'm still wondering about their latest non-MMO release, Final Fantasy 16, which is currently a PS5 exclusive. Well, during the Fan Fest, Square Enix CEO Takashi Kiryu, I hope I said that right, well, he mentioned that whenever it's possible, whatever that means, that they're looking to bring their games to the Xbox. So obviously, there are going to be some exclusivity deals still with PlayStation, but it seems like Microsoft is trying to continue to build a relationship with Square Enix to get more of their games to come to Xbox. But you know whose relationship is weird? GPD and Valve. Now, my first handheld PC was the GPD Win 3, which I really like, but they got really defensive about their product when Valve announced the Steam Deck. Now, obviously, with the Steam Deck's competitive pricing, they saw it as a threat. Even with the GPD Win 4, they make direct comparisons to the Steam Deck and claim that their product is better in many ways. Well, weirdly enough, they're making an external GPU dock with an adapter that makes it compatible with the Steam Deck. So this dock has a GPU built in, which is a Radeon 7600M XT, and it connects via USB 4 or Thunderbolt to their devices, but you can buy an optional adapter that plugs into the Steam Deck, or really any device that has an M.2 slot, and uses the GPU that way. So they actually have a video on their official YouTube page showing that working with the Steam Deck. And as someone who's replaced the storage in their Steam Deck, I wouldn't want to have to take the back off all the time to use an eGPU with it, especially if you have to then put it back together to make it portable again. Also, you would lose your built-in storage, of course, because you're using the M.2 slot. You have to install everything on a micro SD card, and you'd have to run Windows to get the drivers to work properly for it. So it can work with the Steam Deck, but it's not super practical. I feel like what this is, since this is a niche product, that they're providing this adapter just to maybe get some additional sales from a few Steam Deck owners. But it's almost $700 for the dock and the adapter. The dock by itself is $655, so it's not really that cheap, but it's not unreasonable compared to some of the other docks that we've seen with built-in GPUs. I'm curious if anyone out there is actually interested in getting something like this for the Steam Deck, considering how much work it would be to have to take the back off every time you use it. But let me know in the comments what you think. Is this something that you'd be interested in if you have a Steam Deck? And in turn, I'll let you know how to get banned on Xbox for 15 days. A while back, I covered Microsoft finally fixing an exploit on the Xbox that allowed emulators to be installed on the console in retail mode. Alternatively, you can pay a one-time fee of $20 to enable dev mode on an Xbox, and you can install emulators that way. But some people were obviously disappointed with no longer being able to have the option to install emulators without paying for dev mode. But since then, there have been a small group of people who figured out a workaround to still install emulators on a retail Xbox without dev mode. Now, you have to join a Discord by subscribing to a Patreon for $2 a month in order to get the steps on how to enable it. But apparently, Microsoft has cracked down on that workaround. So some of the users who had emulators installed were met with a 15-day ban. It got to the point where one of the staff members on the Discord was like, it's not even worth it. Just pay for dev mode if you want to do it. But yeah, it looks like Microsoft is still cracking down on emulators on retail Xbox systems. Like I mentioned when I first reported on this, when Microsoft started cracking down on it, the system was never really sold as a way to play emulated games, and being able to do so was an added bonus while it lasted. But you shouldn't buy a system and treat a workaround like it's a feature. The other thing with this story is people had to pay to access this Discord to get the steps. Just pay the additional $18 and unlock dev mode if it's really that important to run the emulators on the Xbox. Either way, it looks like the unofficial emulators on Xbox are pretty much dead. Like dead. But you know what hasn't even started life yet? Sony's Project Q, and that's what we're talking about. And our final story. So Sony officially announced a Project Q this summer, and it had basically already leaked online before that. It's a handheld designed to stream games from a PS5 using remote play. That information and how it looks is basically all we know about it for right now. Well, there's been another leak. There's a video going around of someone who got their hands on what we would assume is a prototype of the Project Q, and it appears to be running Android. So this is interesting because that could imply that it could do more than just remote play for the PS5. I doubt you'll be able to install Android games on it, but maybe it'll get some additional video apps like YouTube or Netflix or something like that. It would be cool if it was basically just a full Android tablet with the built-in controller and you could install whatever you want on it, but I don't think that'll be the case because it's basically being advertised as a remote play device. But hopefully we'll get some more information on this soon because I am curious about what the device's capabilities are, and it would be nice to know things like the price, the release date, or even what the actual name of it's going to be. But I suppose we'll find all this information out in due time. And my time in this video is due to expire, so I'm bringing this thing to a close. But let me know in the comments if you're excited about Sony's Project Q handheld. Like, I'm genuinely curious because I haven't heard anybody say anything about it really positive or negative. But again, let me know how you feel about it. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification wherever it is to make sure you get notified when I drop a video or a live stream, and always do at least 2 things at the same time. We out.